In this tutorial, I will be discussing exactly the difference between purging and breakouts with irritation. Sometimes it's very difficult, even for myself, to differentiate between the two. But today, after this tutorial, you will see through pictures and theory that you will have a great understanding, so you will know exactly what is happening on your skin and what to do. So let's get started right now. If this is your first time here on this channel, welcome. My name is Maria from Aglaia Aesthetics Online. I am so excited that you are here. Hopefully you'll hang out with me until the end. I do have a stamp on the bottom, so you can kind of go ahead, but when you go ahead, you might miss out a lot of the information. So I do appreciate that you hang out with me for a little while, especially if this is something that it is bothering you. I am very excited to do actually this tutorial because there's so much confusion in this subject. So the first thing I want to mention is that you have seen a lot of my work, especially my subscribers that have followed me, and you know that I always say that the skin is an organ of elimination. So if you eat processed foods and a lot of junk food, and you have a lot of stress in your life, and you don't sleep enough, and there's so many other things, and not drinking enough water, if your toxins are not eliminated one way, it will come out in other ways. So one way or another, the impurities in your body will come out. A little bit of a diagram here, and as you look at, we have these are the sweat glands, and we also have the sebaceous gland right in here, and this organ, the skin, is the largest organ of the body, and we sometimes we don't think at it as an organ. When we think an organ, we think of the heart or the brain or the liver or the pancreas, whatever. But this is an amazing organ that, first of all, it protects us from the environment. But as we look at this diagram, we also see that, I'm going to show you to you again, you can see that out of the pore, you can see this is actually the pore. We have sweat coming out, and out of this opening called the ostia, we have sebum. So there's water and oil, and with a combination of the two plus the bacteria, good bacteria, okay, we create this acid mantle. We do have good bacteria. Here we go. Okay, so this good bacteria, this is all, of course, is magnified, but this good bacteria with the oil and the sweat, it causes a beautiful acid mantle, and this acid mantle will protect us from the bad bacteria. If we don't take care of the skin by, again, wrong food that we are taking, wrong products, skincare, we go into the sun, we are rough with our skin, this acid mantle will start to deteriorate, will start to not to be produced as evenly, and that is the time that we will start having breakouts. So also breakouts, see large pimples, clusters, and usually they are more painful, and we touch this like a little nodule, and it lasts a long time. And let me take a picture here. The bacteria usually lives in this area. Okay, we'll have some going in this area, but this area here. So sometimes the bacteria is dormant, and you start doing maybe some massaging, getting a facial and nourishing massage, and you start waking up, because when you're doing massaging, you're stimulating the blood circulation, or maybe you have a nice simple mask and that activates. So, but that pimple would have come out anyways. And a breakout, a lot of times it will happen in areas where you don't usually have breakouts. It could happen anywhere. If you don't take care of it properly by taking good products, using the high frequency, and I do have a tutorial, high frequency to dry up the pimples or killing the bacteria. eating properly, drinking your water, it will stay around for a long time. This diagram here, so you will see fungi, bacteria, viruses, and everything is right into the skin. But because the skin, one of the functions of the skin is for protection, because we have this wonderful acid mantle, we are ongoing protected. Wonderful, isn't it? Now let's look at here again. So here we have the sweat and the oil. So breakouts and acne occurs when the pores, and it's not only this pore, but it's also the ostia. That's a different opening. The skin becomes blocked with oil, dead cells, and of course bacteria. It could be too much oil is produced by your sebaceous gland. Okay, dead skin is accumulated in here, so that's why a good scrub and a good peel is essential to do that regularly, and of course a buildup of bacteria. And when we have this buildup of bacteria and skin, the oils cannot come through, and so there is like a backlog. So before we go to purging, very quickly, if you don't take care of your system and eating properly, don't eat oily, greasy foods, no processed foods, and you take care of your skin, you're drinking your water, you're taking your vitamins, have a good skincare. If you don't do that, your acne, your breakouts will stay around for a long time. And these breakouts could be anywhere, they're painful, and they stick around. And I do have several tutorials on different kinds of blemishes, acne, hormonal, fungal, and many other tutorials. So please look at the description box below. The most important thing that you need to know about purging is that it will not last forever. You're using some very active ingredients, which I'm listing them right here, that you're having a little bit of, not reaction, but the skin is desquamating and is peeling off. And so you are moving things faster. So if you're getting some blemishes and a little bit of reaction, it is and it's purging, it could be because you're using very active ingredients. And the purge does not last forever like a breakout, usually 4 to 6 weeks. You will start getting a clear, nice skin. However, if it's not stopping, most likely you're having a reaction to the product. So when you're using products such as HAs, the glycolics and the malic acid and the lactic acid, or the BHAs, which are the salicylic acid, these are very active ingredients that helps with the desquamation and also the moving and the cell division, the speeding up of the turnover of the cells. Retinoids, there are different kinds of retinoids, retin-A, tretinoids, and also benzoyl peroxide is very similar to bleach. So that is one that I don't like to touch too much. There's a lot of people, they say that the niacinamide, the B3, will cause purging, but it is not an acid. The niacinamide, it's what it does, it regulates the oils in the skin. It is not a peel. So all the other ones, the HAs, the BHAs, the benzoyl peroxide, the retinoids, these are very active ingredients that help with a turnover of the cells. Now, I know that a lot of individuals will stack all these active ingredients, and I have a lot of my subscribers that they're saying, well, I use BHAs at nighttime, HAs in the morning, and I use the benzoyl peroxide on that pimple. Sometimes when you use too many active ingredients, you may have a reaction. So it is, for me, in my opinion, I do not like to mix all these active ingredients. I like to do it one at a time and see if you do have a reaction. So if you're using BHAs, use it for a little while. If you don't have any reaction, that is fine for you to use maybe another acid, but do not use it at the same setting. Because sometimes when you're overusing, you're going to overreact and might cause a reaction. Now, people might say, how would you know if you are allergic to something? Well, if you're allergic, it looks like hives. You will have it's really hot, there's a reaction, it's itchiness, redness, and sometimes swelling. And so if you have an allergy reaction, you will know within the first few hours up to 24 hours that you will know that if you have an allergy reaction. Okay, so purging and allergy reaction, it is totally different. If you have an allergy reaction, please stop as soon as you realize that that is not working for your skin. These acids, the main purpose of these acids is to speed up the turnover of the cells in it. So the first here in the yellow area, right at the bottom, that is the basal layer, or also called the gymnotivum layer. That's the yellow part. Below that, you will see all the different structures like the pilosebaceous, the sebaceous gland, the sweat glands, the arrector pili muscle, which is a little muscle that is attached onto the hair follicle. And those are really active little structures. Below all that, we'll have the fat cells, which is called the adipose. And below that, we will have the muscle. When we take in the glycolic acid and those acid, what we are doing, we are stimulating mainly the basal layer, okay, right in here, which also called the gymnotivum layer. From here to all the way to the top, the corneum layer, it takes approximately between 28 to 35 days, depending how old you are. So an adult, a young adult, might be around the 25, 28 days. As you get older, it will take longer. So that is why getting a good glycolic or a good scrub, a good peel to help desquamate, to remove these dead cells in the corneum, then you are speeding up the process. However, if you overuse them, or let's say you're using really stronger products at 10, 15, 20% glycolic, then you will start having purging. Now, purging is not bad. Usually purging will last 6 to 8 weeks. Some people a little bit faster, some people a little bit slower, but it's about that. At the end of it, it will just go. There is 2 different kinds of purging. One are the pimples, and usually, and you can see it here, and it's quite uniform, because if you look at the breakout, let me show you a breakout. The breakout, they're like the pustules, and they're large ones, small one, they're erratic all over the place. But a purging, there's just like sooner or later these ones are going to go. What has happened? What's happening? Because we're having stimulating this area here, not only the cells are coming up faster, so instead of taking 28 days, they might coming up on the surface within 15 days or sooner. Also the bacteria, so if there's any backlog or blockage, also the bacteria will come out, and that is why you're seeing these little pustules and little pimples. And but there's nothing to worry about. Just ride it through. If you're using stronger and you're having like a major turnover, that is when you are going to have this. So this is more of a dry purging. Now, when you have a dry purging, what could you do? What are you going to do? Now, if you have the pustules, I would say high frequency. Don't get it confused with radio frequency, high frequency. Or maybe you could use some tea tree oil onto the blemish to kill the bacteria, to dry up the bacteria. Don't put more product, because when we see the pimple, we say, oh, let's put more glycolic. No, don't do that. However, if you're getting this kind of purging here, I always advise to put maybe some hyaluronic acid, aloe vera gel, One of the things that is really good are oils like a bisabolol oil from our flower. The bisabolol oil, it's a very soothing. So if you can find some ointment, some soothing humectant, that would be very good. And the hyaluronic acid is an amazing humectant. So we have a good understanding now of purging. So if we're getting any little blemishes, use a high frequency, maybe on the area, get some tea tree oil, and you might want to mix it with water because you want to be very gentle. Because the skin right now, when you're having that dehydration, especially if that's the way your skin reacts, you need to take good care of it by using hyaluronic acid and occlusives. And occlusives basically like our oils to hold in the moisture, because you're going through the epidermal dehydration or water loss. Thank you so much for still being here with me and hanging out. It means that this is something that you really want to understand what's going on with your skin. So now I have a few do's and don'ts. So the first don't is do not pick your skin. Do not squeeze. Try not to touch your skin, because when you start squeezing your whiteheads, and if you don't do it properly, when you start squeezing the whiteheads and the blackheads, stuff like that, and you're not doing it properly, if you're confident, you know what you're doing, that's a different thing. But if you're touching and you're not knowing what you're doing, you're going to spread the bacteria, the staphylococci and the streptococci. You're going to spread all the bacteria all over the place, and it's going to cause more problems, especially if it is a breakout. So do not touch your skin and spread out the bacteria all over the place, because you're going to leave it open. You're going to squeeze it, leave it open, and cause more infection. So it's a no-no. If you're having pimples and breakouts, do not use drying products. And as I mentioned before, I do not like benzoyl peroxide, and I also do not like you to use any products with alcohol. No. What I would like you to do is different things, which I'm going to explain it in a second. You have to remember that the skin is an organ of elimination. So this is a process. So if you're purging one thing, if you're having a breakout, you know the reason because of that. So you have to go through the process to eliminate all the junk and the gunk in your follicle and in your body. So that is very essential. Don't give up easily. Be consistent, especially if you are purging. You do need to go through the process. But the difference between purging and a breakout, purging is only few weeks, 6 to 8 weeks approximately, but a breakout can last a long time. And if you don't take care of that breakout, it will cause you will have acne, and you will have maybe cystic acne. So please do take care of that before. Drink enough water, and I do have a tutorial, please look at it. Drink enough water to so your blood gets cleansed. I also have one to keep your colon clean called the elixir. I have that one. It's amazing that you will be taking that elixir. It's a tea with different things in it, good goodies, to clean your colon. Take probiotics. It's essential, especially if you have breakouts. Do wash your hands before you touch your skin. Your hands are very dirty, touches everything. So before you decide to touch your skin, soap up your hands, use some disinfectant. Diet. I don't care if it is a breakout or if it's purging. Diet. You have to eat well. Stay away from dairy products. I know I will get a wrap on this one, but dairy products is a no-no. Anything that is sugar is a silent killer, but it's also very bad for you. Sugars, processed foods, they need to be out. However, you can have a lot of greens and a lot of vegetables. Fermented foods like kombucha, kimchi, sauerkraut, those are very good. But if you have breakouts, I always say stay away from sugars and also carbs until your skin clears out. You will know when you can start eating again the good carbs. Use less makeup. I do believe in mineral makeup because that will give you a nice coverage. It gives you protection. I do have a link below. It gives protection from the sun. It gives you some evenness, but it does not clog up your pores. So stay away from bad makeup. Good skincare, I have a link below, but just get mild skincare, a nice cleanser. The toner, I don't believe in toners, and as you know, I do believe in apple cider vinegar, but please don't get apple cider vinegar and put it on your face because that will burn your skin. Just mix it, get a little spray bottle, 20% apple cider vinegar and 80% water, and then you spray your skin just before you apply your moisturizer. Again, if you have any blemishes that you want to deal with, tea tree oil, and then you want to mix it 50-50 with water, get a Q-tip and apply only on the blemish. Tea tree oil, amazing because it does dehydrate and kills the bacteria. If you can afford it, high frequency. The high frequency machine is very easy. You can zap your little blemish and voila, it kills the bacteria. I really hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. There's so much, and I know that sometimes I have these long tutorials, but sometimes it's so difficult to put everything in here. But I do hope that you do share this, subscribe, give this link or this channel to your loved ones, and I will talk with you very, very soon. P.S. I forgot to tell you, please do sleep, because this is one of the really important things. During your sleep, you are not only resting your brain, your body, but everything is regenerating while you're sleeping. So don't forget to have a good sleep, minimum 7 hours. If you can sleep 9 hours, it's better for you.